willing to tolerate callous and spiteful acts against them. There's some of the people that are already broken down to the point of what they're looking for.
Oh, sure.
Their goal is to keep their partner imprisoned emotionally and physically. They exhibit the same elements of the emotional avoidant love addict, but they have the added element of controlling the partner with abusive acts.
Exactly, and they go hand in hand with the battered love addict, which is number 7. The battered love addict are love addicts who routinely become dependent on a controlling partner, and they will tolerate physical and emotional abuse, and they have great difficulty leaving these relationships with their abusive partner, often the abusive love addict. This is a situation where if a child is growing up in a household and they see dad hitting mom, and the boy grows up to abuse women, this is a typical case of where the woman grows up looking for someone to abuse her. And she's a very dangerous person in a relationship, because when the abuser goes out of control, our number 6 abusive love addict, and the police are called, she'll defend her abuser to the end.
She'll attack the police.
Absolutely. She is a very, very deadly source, because this is where we're starting to get into problems where people start taking criminal action. They start really getting dark, and people start to lose control. It's a very dangerous situation.
That it is, which leads us to the sex and love addict. The sex and love addict type is highly preoccupied with sex and sexual fantasies.
You always get something with sex.
I know.
You always do. It doesn't matter what it is.
I noticed the way those all lined up. I'm sitting there going, okay, I'm the sex guy. All right. But they're preoccupied with sex and sexual fantasies with only one particular person.
Yes.
Usually their romantic partner or ex-partner, which is kind of crazy. They become addicted to the person. And this is when it becomes dangerous.
Yes.
They aren't in love with that partner so much as they are in love with the sexual acts with their partner. Like most love addicts, they will tolerate misery and pain in a relationship. However, they do it solely to maintain the sexual intimacy with the one person.
Exactly. With sex addiction, it's more about the rush of the sex and leading up to it. And with this particular person here, this is the love and sex going together here. And this is a type of person that will want you to dress a certain way, look a certain way, wear your hair a certain way, wants you to wear earrings a certain way.
How about this perfume?
Yeah, how about this outfit and wear your hair in this type of style? And
you had an experience with this.
I did. I dated a guy when I lived in California. I lived in California in 1988. I went out there. And, I went out there to get out of the trouble that I got into in Michigan, and I moved out there, and I met this guy, and let me tell you, of course, actually it was like the second or third guy I met in the year that I was there, and he had a certain obsession with the way that I did my eye makeup, and I don't know what it was, and this was like 1988, and it kind of was like the bold eye with the bold lip, and I was a hairdresser and had the big hair, everything going on, and he would sit there, and he would watch me do my eye makeup, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Do you want me to do yours too? And he's like, no, I'm fine. Because I did date a guy anyway.
Yeah, that's another show.
That's another show. That's a whole other show. So I had gotten my purse stolen.
Right.
And I was worried about my wallet and my cards and everything in there. And he didn't even think about that. We're driving down the road, and all of a sudden he pulls into this drugstore, and he's buying me like, $30 worth of makeup of all this stuff. I'm like, wow. What are you doing? And he says, oh, you got to have your makeup. You got to have your stuff. And I'm thinking, am I ugly or something? Is there something wrong with the way that I look? And he goes, no, I just love the way you do your eyes. I'm like, okay, it's time to thinking about, I need to go. Yes, I need to go. And yeah, wow. he was a very dangerous person. He followed me. It was a big story.
Troubled fellow.
Absolutely. So number 9, this leads us to the parental love addict. Now, the parental love addict type is unlike any other love addict, and it's given that romance is not involved.
Mm-hmm.
This type is a parent who loves too much, not as in a romantic partner, but with their own child.
Right.
The parental love addict becomes dependent on, enmeshed in, and reliant to one or more of their children to fill an inner void. And this is to escape feelings of emptiness or impaired sense of self. And we talked about this earlier. This is
like your pageant mom.
Yes.
Dance moms.
Yes.
cheer moms.
Yes.
And not to bag on those, because I was a cheer dad.
Well, I was a dance mom forever, and even like the pageant moms, you see this so often on the shows where these moms are so asphyxiated with their child being in this competition. The child doesn't even want to be there. They're screaming and howling, but no, you got to do it. You got to do it.
Sometimes the kids want to be a kid.
Sometimes they want to be a kid. Or this is also an example of a father pushing
a son. Oh, you're going to be a quarterback. You're going to be this. You're going to be that. Mm-hmm. And you could have a kid who's not really big into sports. Sometimes it becomes a great disappointment. But or it's one of those. I was this growing up. I was the head quarterback of the team in them. Mm-hmm. And then it comes into that whole stress of, if you don't make the cut, what kind of disappointment is your old man, you are to your old man.
Oh, yes.
And that's a whole nother set of circumstances there.
I actually had a guy that I went to high school with, and he had an issue with that his father pushed him into all these different things. So mm-hmm. Absolutely. So you're going to take us into...
I'm going to take us into another break. We're going to take a quick break and pause here for, as we call it, station identification, and we will bring you right back. We're going to come back with our special guest, Natalie McGovern, and then we will start some calls and questions, and our listeners will have a chance to participate. If you got a pencil and paper ready, get prepared to write, because here's our number. Our number is 480-409-0773. Or those people in the chat room, feel free to keep chatting. We had a new guy pop up, Paul. Really appreciate you here, Paul.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for showing up. He said he's been listening for the last 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh, how awesome. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you.
He enjoys it. It kind of helps a little for him. So it makes us feel good, kind of touches us.
Oh, I see him on here. Yeah. Anytime you'd like to talk about that issue, I'd be more than happy to. Absolutely. We're going to be bringing Natalie McGovern on in just a minute. We're going to get her to call in, get her situated, and she's going to share with us her story of love addiction and how she handled it, and about her and her business. And she's a really cool individual to have on the line with us. So
definitely. So we'll be back. You've been listening to Heart to Heart with the Hansons.
It's amazing the ways you got me blazing these trails, the ways you taking me through when I was afraid of myself, to show me what I ain't seen and tell me what I ain't heard. You put your hooks inside of me, so honestly I gain work, cause I don't hide no more, and now I know that I can be the man that I planned. Since you found who I am and fell in love with me, the part of my life that I was once missing, and now I see you clearly, fearfully, you wonderfully. No true or two time, it's like an empty hourglass, pissing against the grain, the twisted sigma systems, coward ass. Whatever they deem is normal, come from, we'll just go around hand in hand, and if I get too crazy, baby, hold me down, hold me close, hold me tight, and don't let go of me, because I love to feel the motion of your body's poetry and rhythmic excellence. Synchronize the breath, we spend the best of many nights sweating, bless us, set the precedence. Now
doesn't matter what they want, doesn't matter what they need.
It doesn't matter what they say to me, because our eyes is open to what they afraid to see. Yeah.
Doesn't matter if we cry, don't matter if we
It doesn't matter if we fly or we fall, because it's you and me, baby, us against them all. And if we hold on through the night before dawn, it'll never be the same old song. Know that. And if we keep it cool together, we'll see it through until the end, cause we believe in me and you. And that's why there are times where we can't stand each other's guts, arguments ringing out until we feel our numbers up once the thunder struck. But when you get down to the root of it, moments like that can't compare to the...
Welcome back to Heart, and thank you for joining us this evening. This is Kristen Hansen, and we just got done talking about some really heavy topics with love addiction, and hope that you were all able to learn something and get a better understanding of what it is, how to recognize it in yourself and in your partner. And now I'd like to bring on the air, we have our very special guest, Natalie McGovern. Like we said earlier, she is with her company, Blissful Living. She is an educator at the school that I attend. She's also a polarity clarity practitioner, life coach, certified clinical hypnotherapist, mentor, and just a really great lady that we really enjoyed getting to know. So I'd like to welcome her right now. Natalie, welcome to our show.
Welcome, Natalie.
Hi, thanks for having me. I've really, really enjoyed getting to know you guys too, and I've learned so much just from listening.
Oh, thank you so much. So go ahead. I'm going to let Leaf start asking you some questions, Natalie.
I get to ask questions first then.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about you and your business.
Well, the name of my business is Blissful Living.
Okay.
And really what I like to do is I love working with people who have lost their way physically, emotionally, spiritually, and kind of really gotten into a place of chronic illness and disease within their life.
Okay.
And I like to help them find all of the lost parts of themselves and heal the parts that they need to let go and release, and then help them find the blissful life that they really came down to live. So that's really what it's come to be. It's changed so much, but I think I picked that name for a reason, and I knew even back when I picked it what it really was going to become.
Right.
What does bliss mean for you? When you hear those words, what does that mean for you, Natalie?
Well, what it means to me, and what I think I'm finding that is really exciting, is that it's what you find brings you bliss every day. So bliss is living a life that every day when you wake up, it works and you feel good, and you like where you're going and who you're with and how your day is spent. And that is kind of what that looks like to me. And what I found super exciting is that everybody's bliss is different.
Sure.
Right.
I've never once had one person explain or describe the same type of life to me, which leads me to believe that there is an abundance of wealth and health and love within the world, because we all don't want the same thing.
No, exactly. How did you get to becoming a life coach? Would you mind sharing with us a little bit about how you came to this profession and how you got to this point?
Yeah. Well, I was always interested in the mind and in psychology. And when I went to college the first time, I didn't really want to go, but I did do psychology type of stuff. And what happened for me is, because I didn't really want to go and I wasn't ready, I ended up getting involved with drugs, and I just really led this kind of crazy, wild life, and I also was eating really bad food and just not taking care of myself.
Sure.
And so after a series of events, by the time I was 28 years old, I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder.
Oh, okay.
And,
very common. Very common.
Yeah. But you want to know what I think is so beautiful about this whole experience that I'm sharing with you right now, is that I realized I'm reading my friend Courtney Long's book,
Sure.
Authentic and Free. Yeah. And as I was reading her book, it prompted me to pull out some old journals of mine. And what came to me is that my whole spiral that I consider that started out of control when I was 28 and led up until I found life coaching, was what we're leading into. It all happened because of a love addiction.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And all these ahas came to me even as you posted about your show, and I taught about love addiction in my class last week at the Southwest Institute of Healing Arts. It all really hit me, and I realized that, it really all came from this place of, did I love myself fully and completely? And so what happened is life wasn't working, even with all of the psychiatric meds that they put me on, and I ended up being very, very ill and sick and having to live with my parents. And I just Googled one day how to heal naturally from mental illness.
Sure.
And luckily, Spirit kept showing me hypnotherapy, life coaching, and energy work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so that actually just was the stepping stone for me. With those sessions that I did with the practitioner I found, I was able to